friends. I hope you are well. We are back in the car this week. I feel like we should almost turn this into like a weekly therapy car chat. Last week's car chat helped me so much, just like get a few thoughts off my chest. And it was so lovely to get such nice comments from all of you saying that you completely understood how I was feeling and feeling, similar yourself. And it just made me realize, we can't solve each other's problems for each other, but it is still so nice to have that like common ground and to feel like, somebody else gets it, like all of the noise from the world and just like life stuff and, just everything happening to the collective whole of us. And it was so lovely to read your comments and to just see that like I'm not alone in it. It's a heavy time to be existing and living in our world. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for offering those sweet words. I did not end up having a better week. It wasn't nearly as bad as last week, but we're just kind of in a little bit of I don't even know what you call it. It's a tough season, but it's okay. Seasons change and this one will change too. And I am hopeful. I'm sounding a lot better than I did last week. And a lot of your comments helped with that too. So thank you so much. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful going forward. I know things will change and get a little bit better. And I just thought today, you know what? Let's continue to try to pick myself up and let's go do a few things that I enjoy doing that always give me that instant boost. Last week, just like making myself get up and, leave the house and go to the bookstore was just like an instant serotonin boost. And so I'm hoping this week will be the same, these next couple of outings I have planned. And I thought overall, we are deserving of a very cozy autumn weekend in New England here. The leaves are starting to turn. I'm starting to see a few little colors here and there. So it's definitely around the corner. It's definitely coming if it's not already here. I mean, in our own backyard, there's not that many that have changed, but as I'm driving around, I definitely see more. But I thought, okay, it is really time to fully dive into some of these cozy autumn activities here in New England. But right now I am currently at Trader Joe's. Last time I came to Trader Joe's, I was a little bit too early for the seasonal items. And the only thing they had was like a spice chai concentrate. So I just went home with my sad little spice chai concentrate and nothing else. But I know today will be a very different story. So I'm going to grab a couple things in Trader Joe's. There is also an at-home right next door to this Trader Joe's. So I'm going to pop in and see if I can grab a few more little seasonal decorations before all of the spooky Halloween stuff comes out, because I'm more of like a cozy autumnal decorator rather than like a spooky decorator. So I'm going to see if they have a few things there that I can grab. And then this weekend, there's a couple things I want to do. We want to go apple picking. I'm so excited to do that. I want to get into a couple of autumnal reads. I had some come in the mail, like very Gilmore Girls books. I cannot wait to get into those. So I'm going to start those. Maybe some cozy, comfy, like hobbies in the evenings. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the next few days are all about continuing to pick myself up, just feel a little lighter, feel a little better. And I hope you all have had a decent week and that you've been able to get into some autumnal activities. But thank you for joining me, and let's go get into the spirit and, continue to hopefully feel a little better as we go. I put away the normal boring groceries, but wanted to show you a few of the seasonal fun items I grabbed, starting with these brioche waffles that are pumpkin spice. They look so delicious. Got some of this creamer that's cinnamon bun flavored. I wanted to balance out like all the pumpkin spice stuff, so the cinnamon bun one sounded right up my alley because it's seasonal but not pumpkin. I also grabbed some apples with some caramel sauce. I thought it would be fun to do like apples in dipped caramel. I also got some maple syrup. I was thinking I was going to make some homemade granola bars and add like a little bit of pumpkin spice to that and make it a bit seasonal. I also grabbed a few of these cute little pumpkins. I like to add them to the tablescape. I'm still waiting for like the tiny little ones that have like the long, cute stems. So I'll just add as the season goes on. I also grabbed this like acorn squash. I've always been so curious about this. I have no idea how to cook it, how to eat it, what to do with it. I don't know if it's going to end up just being part of the tablescape, but I might give it a try. Like maybe create some sort of roasted vegetable pasta sauce or something. We'll see what I do with that. I grabbed a few sunflowers just because they were so pretty, and just that pop of color is so nice to have on a tablescape as well. These two things are not seasonal. They're always there, but I try to like reserve getting it until this time of year, so I'm in the spirit of eating like seasonal food as well. So I got some of this sweet potato gnocchi and then the butternut squash ravioli. So we are getting quite festive in this house. I recently got some happy book mail the other day. These are two books that I have been waiting so long for them to come in. These are going to be exactly the atmospheric autumnal vibes that I need, and just to give me that like ultimate cozy feeling. The first one is The Honeycrisp Orchard Inn by Valerie Bowman. Can we just take a second for this cover? I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get over it. I think every year I'm going to have to put this one facing outward on my shelves, because this is just like autumn in a picture, especially up here in New England where we have so many of these like cute kind of like bed and breakfast inn type places. And there's also a little bit of like red foil detailing on the cover. I don't know if you can see it there on camera, but it's just such a stunning cover, and it's very like my type of cozy vibes. And this book, I think, is about a girl named Ellie and a guy named Aiden. And Ellie has just been dumped by her boyfriend. She's also just lost her job in the city, so she kind of goes back to her parents' place on Long Island where they own this inn. And then Aiden, our male character, his parents own the orchard. I mean, talk about a couple that's made for each other. Her parents own the orchard, the inn, and his parents own the orchard. And apparently the inn and the orchard are in trouble, so the town is hosting this like harvest festival in order to try to save those two places. And I think they're kind of in like a little bit of a forced proximity situation, which is also so cozy. This one just sounds like exactly what I need right now to like completely switch over into this autumn season. And it is also quite short, so it shouldn't be too long of a read. I know this one is also available on Kindle Unlimited if you are interested in reading it that way. I just saw it was on there, so I might download it on there as well just to have it to read in bed at night. The other one I have is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. Another stunning cover. Like, oh my goodness, people are just like nailing it. All of these illustrators are doing exactly their jobs with getting all of these autumnal vibes into these books. This book was a little bit harder to get my hands on. I had been seeing reviews of it everywhere, and I knew I wanted to read it because it said it was set in the 90s. Now, I am a 90s lover. I am such a 90s girl. I just kind of miss, I don't know, maybe it's because I was a kid and so everything felt a little bit lighter, but I also felt like the world itself felt like a more hopeful place. Like, globalization was happening, we were traveling, we were opening ourselves up, we were like excited about all the newness, we were welcoming to one another. I mean, it just sounds like exactly all the opposite words of what's happening currently in all of the world. And I just like, I love 90s music. I love just all the 90s, like fashion, like you name it, anything about the 90s, and I am there. And so when I read the synopsis of this book and it's set in 1997 and it's autumnal, I knew I had to instantly buy it. But it did sell out pretty quickly, so they had to do like a reprint of it because so many people wanted it. I think you can put in an order and it should arrive in the next like month or so. Mine, I think, took from the time I placed the order for it coming in maybe like 3 weeks. So if you want a copy, you know, get your order in. I think they may still be doing some reprints and have some extra copies, but this book is also giving all of the autumnal vibes. This one is set in Vermont, which is not too far from me. And the thing that also got me about this one is that the male character is not only a single dad, but he is also a baker. I mean, there are not a better combination of words for a male lead in a book. So I totally loved that whole vibe. And then she, I think, has been divorced, and she kind of also retreats to this small town to kind of pick herself up again and find herself again. And they are neighbors. Again, another kind of forced proximity situation. Everyone compared this one. I mean, I know everybody tries to compare every autumnal book to Gilmore Girls, but I think this one is actually meant to be very, very similar to Gilmore Girls, not only because it's set in the 90s, and like, I know Gilmore Girls were 2000s, but you know, not now. And the other thing is, I think because he's supposed to give off like very Luke kind of vibes, and she's supposed to be very like Lorelai vibes, and so this one I think might be the most closely related to Gilmore Girls. And of course, like many of you, my rerun and my rewatch of the show has been on in the background with everything I've been doing recently, so I'm definitely in that mindset. And this one's a little bit thicker, but I think it will read pretty easily. A lot of the times these books are full of a lot of banter, so most of it is just like dialogue and not actual text. So I think this one will be a good read as well. I don't know which one to start with. This one's shorter, this one's a bit longer, but I definitely think there's something about the 90s vibes that's calling to me, so I think I might have to start with this one. Playlist is so fun. I haven't heard some of these songs in probably like 10 years. I mean, Sixpence None the Richer, they were so fun, and Matchbox 20, and oh my gosh, Sex and Candy by Marcy Playground, Love Fool, my goodness, Save Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry. I used to love that song. Oh, this is putting me in such a good mood. This is gonna be exactly the 90s vibes I need. Look at this. Oh, how cute is that? I wish we could go back to September 1997. Wouldn't that be just a dream if we could just rewind time a little bit? We have a few tiny little leaves showing a little bit of color in our yard. Just a couple though. These are always the first to go, and unfortunately they don't last very long before they fall, but they're pretty while they do it. Poor little hydrangeas. See you next summer. Today ended up being such a warm day. I was like fully prepared with my long sleeve dress, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a crisp autumn day to go apple picking. But it was actually quite warm, but nonetheless, apple picking turned out to be so sweet and so cute. It is probably one of my like top 10 favorite wholesome activities to do. And the best part is that it doesn't end with the apple picking, because now this week we can make apple crumble and apple pie and maybe some cider. Even for the baby, I can like steam some apples. So I love that it's like a multi-part hobby. But anyways, apple picking was a lot of fun. Then we went out to a restaurant. We're just getting back now. I am going to sit and journal for a little bit, and I wanted to close this vlog here. But before I go, I did want to say that yesterday I managed to read about 80 pages in If It Makes You Happy. You guys, I did not realize this book was exactly what I needed right now. It is just giving me every type of nostalgia and just like heartwarming feelings that I have completely needed right now. Just with everything with the last few weeks, with everything with the world, just like the heaviness of it all, I didn't realize this is exactly what I need right now. And I'm already getting sad for the book to end whenever it does, even though I have like 400 pages to go. The 90s references, I can see how if you are not in the right mindset, maybe they can be a little bit cringy or a little bit over the top. But honestly, for me, I am living for it. There have been references to like butterfly clips and hairs. There was references to like a Discman. There was a reference to like she was like using a fold out map instead of like Google Maps on her phone. There was even like a reference to, please somebody tell me you remember this, but the DARE program in school, you know, like the drug education program. There was even a reference to that. I mean, I don't know what more nostalgic 90s there could be. There are just so many references to it, and it's like taking me back to just a simpler time, just a lovelier time, and I am living for it. I mean, when she says 1997, we are transported back to 1997. And so far, I haven't learned a ton about the story, but the good thing is that it does kind of jump right in. There's no wasting any time. And I mentioned earlier that it was like a Gilmore Girls kind of vibe, but think of it like this. If the two characters were actually flipped, so you know how in Gilmore Girls, like Luke is kind of the grumpy one and Lorelai is like sunshine and bubbly and talks a lot and is really witty and has a ton of banter. So these two characters are actually switched. He is actually super witty and funny and full of sunshine and joy, and she's actually kind of the grumpy one, and she's a little bit more hard set and a little bit more stern and serious. So I cannot wait to see how their two worlds are going to collide and how they're going to work through their differences and, you know, slowly let the magic of this cute little town work on them. I mean, it is giving exactly what I need it to give, and I'm having the best time just kicking my feet and giggling, and yeah, it's just giving me all of the autumn vibes. If you are, you know, wanting something like that, a little bit lighthearted, lots of witty banter, cute animal and cute little girl in here as well. He also has a teenager. He has two daughters. A super cute town. Everybody's like in everybody's business. If all of that is sounding right up your alley right about now, then this book is definitely worth picking up. I mean, I can't say a lot about the plot so far. Not anything significant has happened yet. We've just kind of met the characters. They've met each other. The scene has kind of been set a little bit with the town and why she's in the little town. I can't speak to the plot, but I can speak to the scenery and the setting and the vibes. And those are all hitting the spot. So if that sounds like something you are looking for, then this one might be the one to pick up. I will let you know how I feel as I get through it, but thank you so much for joining me today and doing some of these autumnal activities over the last couple of days. It really has kind of helped to lighten my mood. And I always forget, sometimes it's as simple as just getting outside, getting a bit of fresh air, just taking stock of your exact environment around you instead of letting the heaviness and the noise of everything kind of weigh heavy all at once all the time. Sometimes it's just kind of shutting all that stuff out and getting back to center and, you know, what kind of makes you feel good. And doing some of these things has actually helped me kind of, you know, ground myself a little bit more and come back to the present. So I'm wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. I hope it gets lighter for all of us, but thank you so much for watching, sweet friends, and I will catch you next time.